Well, it's a pleasure to introduce Davi Lopes, who will talk about ambient Lipschitz geometry of normally embedded surface. Thank you very much, Davi, for accepting the invitation. You can start when you are ready.
Hello, everyone. Good morning. First of all, thank you for the inviting for this talk, and it's a great honor for me to present this talk. Is a work that I started to develop in my thesis, PhD thesis, and I'm still continuing my research on this topic. It's a very interesting topic, so today I'll bring you for everyone some facts about ambient Lipschitz geometry of normally embedded surface. Né? It is a joint work with Lev Ibrahim. Né? He was my advisor in my PhD, and well, I'm great collaborator then. And well, let's start by talking about what is this ambient Lipschitz geometry. Why you study normally embedded surfaces? And well, let's get started. Okay, so let's speak first about our Lipschitz classification problems. Okay, and Lipschitz geometry of singularities. Everyone here knows that's an intensively developing part of singularity theory. And one of the main problems is the problem of classification of singular sets up to by Lipschitz equivalence. And this problem is very closely related to topological differential and analytical equivalence of sets. For instance, here you can see three sets, three conical sets, something we can think about this. And the first one here is a smooth set, okay? And differential equivalence can differentiate those three guys. However, in the Lipschitz point of view, which is an intermediate between topological and differential equivalence, the two first diagrams here, they are morally the same. They are by Lipschitz equivalents, but however, you can capture contact orders between them. So if you have these two curves here getting too close at a speed bigger than the linear, for example, then the by Lipschitz equivalence can capture this velocity. So although these three features here have the same topology, they don't have the same Lipschitz structure. Well, the first two ones, they indeed have the same Lipschitz structure, but the third one doesn't have. Okay, so that's just to give an intuition about the Lipschitz classification problem. Okay, here's the definition of a Lipschitz map. Okay, then a Lipschitz map is by Lipschitz or C by Lipschitz, for short. If this map is bijective, and if for all P and Q and the original set X, the distance between the images is kind of controlled by the distance between the domains here. And well, when I give a connected semi-algebraic set X in Rn, we have two natural matrices on it. The outer metric, that's simply the Euclidean distance, and the inner metric, which is the distance, the infimum of the paths, rectificable paths connecting P to Q, okay? And then we can establish, okay, a priori two by Lipschitz equivalence, okay? So we say that two sets X and Y are outer by Lipschitz equivalence if there's a by Lipschitz map on the outer metric, and in a by Lipschitz equivalency, there is a map on the inner metric. However, there is a third by Lipschitz equivalence. That's an ambient by Lipschitz equivalence. That means that if you can extend your by Lipschitz map to all the ambient space, that's why the name ambient comes from. You can theoretically extend your map such that the image of the first set is equal to the second one. It's obvious that if such extension exists, then you have clearly m equal to n, okay? And well, let's talk about this classification problems here, because they have a long and beautiful story here. And the inner bielliptic classification is very well understood by the spectacular work of Bill-Brahe in 1999, classifying surfaces, surface germs in the inner metric. Okay, and this work was generalized recently by Fernandes and Sampaio, 2022. Okay, to a global classification. All right. And in order to understand the main objective of this classification, the further classifications too, we must need to know the concepts of Holder triangles and horns. Okay, so the Holder triangle is the germ of the set here. Okay, the alpha Holder triangle, the standard one at least. You can have x between 0 and 1 and y between 0 and x to alpha. Okay, and every semi-algebraic set that's inner bielliptic equivalence to T alpha here, we call it a Holder triangle, okay, an alpha Holder triangle. And in a similar way, you can have a beta horn, okay? So the beta horn is the germ of the set here, okay? So x2 plus y2 is less than or equal to T 2 beta. You can see here that the beta is the speed collapsing here of this plane section here, and any beta horn is any semi-algebraic set that is in a bielliptic equivalence to this guy. And the work of Bill-Brahe states that every semi-algebraic surface germ can be written as a joint, a union of alpha Holder triangles and beta horns. Okay, he makes a very beautiful work about Holder complexes and so on, but that's the main idea, because these objects are very important because they describe completely the inner bielliptic geometry of surface germs. Okay, well, but about the outer bielliptic classification, this is a harder problem, much harder problem, if you can easily say that. One reason to this problem be much harder is due to topological obstructions, the so-called knots. But some interesting results about how we can unknot Lipschitz surfaces can be given in the work of Bill-Brahe, Mendes, and Nuno Ballesteros in 2017 for specific surface germs, and in Bill-Brahe, Fernandes, and Jelonek in 2020. For sets embedded in a sufficiently high dimension. So if you have a set with high codimension, we can unknot this structure here. Okay, but another problem on the outer bielliptic classification is the final canonical structure for real surfaces in general. Although this problem was solved for complex algebraic plane curves, the work of Targino in 2020. For the real case, we only have some partial progress, okay? The most recent advances in this way is the decomposition of a surface germ and twin snakes, okay? The work of Gabrielov and Souza in 2022. And the most recent one is the outer Lipschitz classification of normal pairs of Holder triangles. There's a very wide work of Bill-Brahe Gabrielov in 2022. And this almost simplest case, we have a really wide classification. It's a very nice work, a hard one indeed, but it's a very, very nice. Okay, but however, to you understand how this problem on the autometric is very difficult. Even we are dealing with a surface with an isolated singularity, the auto classification is still a hard problem due to metric knots. So, well, if the usual knots are not problem enough, you have metric knots. And why to explain what is metric knots here? I put this diagram to you to see. You have a surface here, a surface germ, and here is the link. Okay, so I intersect this with the plane z equal to t, and when you see here the intersection topologically is a S1. It's just a curve, a simple closed curve. However, if you take the collapsing speeds between this arc and this arc equal to t squared, that means that the speed is 2, And in this other example, you take the speed equal to t cubed. These two sets are in a bilipsy equivalent because the links are bilipsy equivalent to cones. However, they are not outer bilipsy equivalent because this contact here must be preserved. And the contact here is 2 and the contact here is 3. So even if we don't have any knot, any topological knot on the link, we can have metric knots here. So the Lipschitz classification of surface by the outer metric is a very hard one because we have two classes, or even more, we still are doing research on it, to deal with. So that's indeed a very hard problem. And several invariants were developed to answer this question, to detect these metric knots. Then we can see the metrical homology was developed by Bibraie Braziletti 2000. The Vanish homology developed by Valetti 2010. And in my opinion, the most promising one to until now to solve this problem, the moderate discontinuous homology developed by Bobadilla et al. In 2019. Okay, and well, and how can we say about the ambient by Lipschitz classification? Okay, the ambient by Lipschitz classification problem is the hardest one. The problem was completely solved for complex Cuvic germs by work in Newman Pichon 2013, but the general case is still far from being solved. One of the first advances in ambient geometry is the result in Sampaio 2006 that states that two subanalytic sets that are ambient bilipsy equivalents, they have the tangent cones ambient bilipsy equivalent as well. Okay, but the most recent contribution in this area is the metric knot theory, the creation of this theory. And there are many examples of pairs of semi-algebraic sets in R3 with the same ambient topology, same inner and outer metric, but they have the different Lipschitz ambient structure here. For example, you can take these two sets, A and B, and by the result of Sampaio, you can see that the tangent cone of this is the structure A is this guy, and the tangent cone of this structure here in B is this other guy here. And then the two sets are ambient topologically equivalent. They are outer bilipsy equivalent. You can assume that the contacts here are the same, but when you deal with ambient Lipschitz geometry, you should expect that the tangent cones must be ambient bilipsy equivalent, but that's not the case. Here you have the ambient Lipschitz structure here consists of 4 cones, but the orientation of these cones here, they are distinct, so they are not ambient bilipsy equivalent because the tangent cones are not even topologically equivalent. Okay, well, and a surprising theorem proved by Bibraie, Gabrielov, and Brandenburg and was published in 2023, it states that for any semi-algebraic surface X in R4, there are infinite surface germs such that each germ are topologically ambient equivalent to X and to X, outer bilipsy equivalent to the same X, but the structure, the ambient Lipschitz structure, are all distinct. So surprisingly, you have infinite possibilities for the ambient geometry and R4. But to give an idea what's happening here, the main idea is to twist the surface. You can twist the link because you are in R4, so the link is in a three-dimensional space. Okay, and that freedom allows to control the contact orders and to choose wherever you want to deform these guys, preserving the ambient topology structure as well as its outer bilipsy structure. Okay, but this twist, this twist move, they alter the ambient Lipschitz structure, and a very nice work. But a question remains: but if this proximity can be broken, what can you say about this? Or if you can just make this guy too close, so must talk about this rigid sets that we call normally embedded sets. And we say that a set X is Lipschitz normally embedded. We use the abbreviation LNE if the automatic and the kinematic are equivalent. Né? And you can define analogs for germs, okay? And we will say that ARC is a germ methodology of a semi-algebraic map, okay, from some T0 sufficiently small, okay, such that the gamma of 0 is 0, okay? You call the set of all arcs in the germ the validity link of the set, okay? We denote this by V of X. This is some notation that we use on all the talk here. And the order of contact, we've given to arcs, we define the tangent order or the order of contacts as the exponents, such that if you measure the distance, well, outer or inner distance, and you take the Newton-Pusey expansion of this distance, then you have the first term, okay, the dominant term here, the exponent is equal to some alpha, and then the alpha is defined as the order of contact. For the outer and for the inner metric, we can have distinct orders, okay? And such orders are rational numbers satisfying this condition. Every one of them is bigger than or equal to 1. And the inner tangent order, okay, is, well, here I make a little mistake. The outer, no, it's fine. The inner tangent order is bigger than or equal to the outer order because the outer distance is less than or equal to the inner distance. In addition, if you have a set is LNE, if and only if for every arc, the outer tangent order is equal to the inner tangent order. This is also results proved by Birbrahi and Mentz. It is 2018. There's a moment here, just to have control of my time. Well, but in the working of Gabrielov, Birbrahi, Banda, and Busk in 2023, actually it was discovered in 2020, but published 3 years later, they conjectured that if X0 and Y0 are two semi-algebraic two-dimensional surface germs on Rn that are outer by Lipschitz equivalent and topologically ambient by equivalent, and this, if these sets are LNE, so the sets are ambient by Lipschitz equivalent. So the main goal of this talk is to prove this conjecture for n equal to t to 3 and x, y with isolated singularity. So we'll talk about this, the proof of this specific case that indeed is a very difficult one. And we'll talk about further research that me and Birbrahi developed along this time, okay? So let's start with some preliminaries, okay? And the main ingredient to start classifying these guys is the concept of synchronized triangles, okay? So in what follows, we define the cone in dimension n+1 and Rn+1 as this set here. It's a cone in this space. And you have two arcs in CA3, okay? Distinct curved germs, and we take a Holder triangle germ with which gamma 0 and gamma 1 are its boundary x, and we say that this triangle is a synchronized triangle if for every small t we have x0 of t less than x1 of t, where gamma 0 you can parameterize in this way, x0t, y0 of t, and gamma 1 parameterize in this way, and the intersection with the plane with t, with the plane z equal to t, is the graph of a semi-algebraic function ft from x0 of t to x1 of t, with the ft of xit equal to yi of t for e equal to 1 of 2. And we say that the family of functions is the generator of the synchronized triangles germ. Well, this is a very technical definition, but here I give a diagram that explains what I'm trying to do. Okay, so a synchronized triangle, here you can see the r coordinate system of t, The idea of the synchronized triangle is to look at some holder triangle, okay, and to select a suitable subset of its valid link. Né? The valid link is a very complete set of every arc, and it describes the geometry of the set. However, it's too much complete, né? In the following sense. The valid link, it have a lot of arcs and analyze every arc of them. It's a very complicated task in general. So we try to select a subset of the valid link that captures all the ambient information. Okay, so that's the idea of the synchronized triangles, and this subset is the arc coordinate system of this synchronized triangle. Okay, so well, that's the main idea of synchronized triangles. Okay, we are mainly focused on a subset of the valid link instead of the triangle, and then we can define in a similar way curvilinear triangles. Okay, I will not read this just to due to time limitations, but in the same way, if we try to select a region of the ambient space, and this region is somewhat delimited by 4 arcs, we define a curvilinear triangle, and this region it have a very complicated valid link as well, but we select a suitable subset of this valid link to study ambient Lipschitz geometry. So here is the arc coordinate system of this curvilinear triangle, and that's the main goal of these 2 objects. Okay, but now let's talk about ambient by Lipschitz isotopy. Okay, that's a way to try to imitate the Rademacher moves for R3, because although the Rademacher moves are done in a curve of 3-dimensional space, one can expect, well, then Rademacher moves will only appear in surface gems in R4, but however, even R3, we must deal with this condition, so we must define ambient by Lipschitz isotopy in order to do these moves, even in R3. So let's x0 and x1 be sets such that these sets are contained in X, and we say that these 2 sets are ambient by Lipschitz isotopic, and X if there's a continuous map such that we denote the phi tau of P equal to phi of P and tau, then phi tau is a bi-Lipschitz map from X to X with respect to the inner metric for every tau between 0 and 1. The phi 0 is the identity map on X, and the phi 1 of X1 is equal to X2. Okay, and the map phi is ambient by Lipschitz isotopy in X, taking X1 and X2. And you say that the isotopy phi is invariant on the boundary of X if the identity map on the boundary is equal to phi tau for every tau. Okay, so here we give a diagram of ambient by Lipschitz isotopy invariant on the boundary. Okay, so it's deformed the space, but not deformed too much, because you want to make Lipschitz deformations here. And well, that's the main idea, and we try to deform our synchronized triangles in order to achieve a canonical structure. So the main idea of the proof is to use the ambient by Lipschitz isotopy. But well, why we can do this? Okay, so that's a technical theorem that, okay, I'll not bring off the details of this proof here, but when you can do by Lipschitz deformation, this theorem gives a necessary condition in order to do so. So you can have 4 synchronized triangles, T1, T2, W1, W2, aligned on the boundary axis, and you can suppose you have some specific conditions. The first one, the generating function families have any bounded derivative. Okay, so that's a first necessary condition. And the second necessary condition, that's not a necessary condition, actually is a definition. T1 has gamma 0 and gamma 1 as boundary arcs. Here's the parametrization of these arcs. And the second necessary condition is that the difference between the distance on each section from a family to the upper and lower family, they are limited by constants here. You have the controlled constants. So if you take the curvilinear triangle delimited by the T1 and T2, there is an ambient isotopy and Rn0 taking W1 into W2. And if you can take Rn0 as a region, which means that the curvilinear rectangle with the two of its four arcs coinciding, then this ambient isotopy is invariant on the boundary as well. Okay, but that's a lot of technical conditions. I guess it is better to give a picture of what is happening here. So you have the first, here you can see the generating function families here of the ft, the upper one, g of t, the second one. And what I'm trying to ask is, these functions have a limited derivative, and this distance here, okay, if you take this quotient here by here, and the quotient here by here, then these quotients, they are limited, okay? So if you have these two conditions, then you have ambient by ellipses isotopy, okay? And although this condition seems too much rigid, fortunately, in the LNA case, these conditions are always fulfilled if you can take suitable coordinates, rotation, something like that, okay? And the proof of this theorem is basically an extension of what was done for the K by ellipse equivalence criterion, done by Bibarai, Costas, Fernandes, and Ruas, and later the CP parameterization on minimal structures, the work done by Kotel, Sink, Pauluco, and Valette, Anya Valette, 2019, okay? So that's the main idea. If you can have this condition, that these conditions appear in normally embedded sets, after suitable change of coordinates, then you can make this transformation here, okay? So the next step is, okay, now you can deform these guys, you can make an ambient by ellipse isotopy. So now what? Now we can, in specific case, deform some Holder triangles into linear triangles, okay? A linear triangle is a Holder triangle that every link, that means if you cut the surface by the plane z equal to t, this is indeed a segment of line, okay? So that's the main idea, to deform every part of the semi-algebraic LNS surface germ into several linear triangles, okay? And when you can do this, we say that a Holder triangle is kinidable around a neighborhood if you can find an ambient by ellipse isotopy, an ambient by ellipse isotopy preserving this set U, okay, and taking the synchronized triangle into a linear triangle, okay? So we can state that it's kinidable in this neighborhood. And one of the main propositions of the proof is the fact that every pure closed semi-algebraic two-dimensional surface, LNS surface with connected link, actually this subset, it does not need to be in R3, can be in Rn, but if you have an LNS set, then you can decompose the ambient space in several neighborhoods and decompose the surface in several synchronized triangles, so that in each neighborhood here, each piece is kinidable. So you can use this to prove that the set is ambient by ellipse equivalent to a germ of a surface formed by a finite union of linear triangles delimited by arcs. So this is a special property of the LNS sets, And when you don't have LNA sets, mostly you cannot deform this guy. Okay, so what this theorem says is that in the LNA case, the canonical structures are union of linear triangles. Okay, so the problem reduces to analyze what happened to these surfaces which links are linear triangles that we call polygonal surface. Okay, so we must find a way to find a canonical structure inside this polygonal surfaces here. Okay, so let's start with the main results here. And the first main results, results proved by Bibra and myself in 2023, that if you have a polygonal LNS surface and CA3 such that this germ X is an open polygonal, that means that the link is homeomorphic to the interval 0, 1, then the set is ambient by ellipse equivalent to an alpha Holder triangle for some alpha rational bigger than or equal to 1. And if it's closed polygonal, then this set is ambient by ellipse equivalent to a beta horn for some beta bigger than 1 rational. Okay, so the main challenge to prove this proposition, that as I said about the Rademacher moves, is to unknot the metric knots. Is to reduce the metric complexity of the surface germs. In order to do this, it's fundamental to look at the link. And a key result is due to a theorem proved by Mendes and Sampaio, that published in 2023, actually discovered in 2021, that if you have a LNA X, its link is uniformly C LNA. So if you take small sections, the constant of the Lipschitz normal embedding is preserved. Okay, so it's enough to construct the ambient by ellipses map only in the link. That's a vital result that facilitates a lot. Makes the result possible to calculate. So I'm very grateful to find this result. This result basically saved my thesis. So I'm very grateful to this result here. And here is a picture illustrating how we can deform these guys. Here you can see a LNS surface was link, is unknotted link, but in a metric point of view, is still have some knots. Here you can see a knot between gamma K2 minus 2 and gamma K2 plus 1. And the main idea of it is to triangulize the surfaces, and then you can find a triangle delimited by 2 consecutive arcs, and then you can use the results for Mendes and Sampaio applied for a kinetable neighborhood of this triangle. And then you can deform these 2 arcs here from gamma K2 plus 1 to gamma K2, and gamma K2 to gamma K2 minus 1. And then you can reduce the number of the linear triangles that delimitates the guy. So after doing several reductions, several Rademacher moves in R3, we can reach a simple structure, which is a linear Holder triangle. Okay, so that's the main idea. But however, we must make some remarks on high dimensions. Okay, because the concepts of synchronized triangles, region, polygonal surfaces, kinetable triangles can be defined for higher dimensions. But this first main result is not true, because this triangulation technique works only in R3, okay? But in R4, unfortunately, it fails, okay? And Edson Sampaio gave an example. This guy here, it's like this is the algebraic definition of it, but if you look at the diagram, this set is LNA. Here you see a diagram of its link, okay? Its link is a union of segments, and it is auto equivalent to, by ellipse equivalent to the 1 horn embedded in R4. But X is not topologically equivalent to the 1 horn because it have a topological obstructions, okay? So the result in R4, the first result you talked here, is not true. Okay, so in a sense, the result for single Holder triangles or horns is the best possible. Okay, But another theorem proved by me and Bibrai this year said that if you have X and Y Lipschitz normally embed semi-algebraic surface gems with isolated singularity, we can prove that X and Y are ambient by Lipschitz equivalent if and only if X and Y are Alter by Lipschitz equivalent and ambient topologically equivalent. So the conjecture of Bibrai-Gabrielov is true for the isolated singularity case in R3, okay? And the main idea here is to apply the first main result, okay, and separate each component of X and Y by several tangent cones. And this tangent cones inherits the same topological structure of the germs, link germs, X and Y, and we can perform, okay, ambient by Lipschitz maps inside if separating cone, okay, and once we done these transformations, this result follow from the first case, okay. So basically, in the isolated singularity case with disconnected link, we can separate each component, connected component of the link by several tangent cones, and we can deal in each case separately. Okay, so this is a consequence of the first case. Okay, but we must make some remarks because one may wonder, well, and how can we say about non-isolated singularity? And for our surprise, for germs of linear surfaces with no isolated singularity R3, this theorem is false in general. Then you see here algebraic definition of the counterexample, but let's look at its link here. And this picture here, allow me to take a print of this guy. Okay, I will try to draw a diagram here. So you can see that this distance here collapses by speed 2, okay? But the difference between these guys is only its tail, okay? Its tail have speed 3, okay? Speed 3 here. And why they are Alter by Lipschitz equivalent? Because they are LNE, because you have non-degenerate angles here, okay? They are inner by Lipschitz equivalents because the theorem of classification of Bibrai, and since they are LNE, the inner equivalence is equal to the outer equivalence. They are clearly topologically ambient equivalent, but how to see that they are not ambient by Lipschitz equivalents? Okay, the first guy here, okay, its link is something like that in S2, and the second one is something like that in S2. However, you see that if there's some ambient map between this guy and this guy, then since this region have 5 faces, you must take this region on the first model to this outside, and you must take the outside here to the inside, okay, to the inside. However, if this map is supposed to be Lipschitz, so the area of the blue region here, this area should be the area is not preserved, but the order of this area, the volume growth of this guy should be preserved. These are results proved by Bibrai and Bracelet in the work of metric homology. Okay, so the speed here is equal to 2. Actually, it's 2 plus 2 plus 1 because we must consider the volume growth of this cone, the cone of its link, okay, the horn. But this guy here has speed 1 plus 1 plus 1. And since they have different speeds here, they cannot be you cannot have a by Lipschitz map send this blue region to this bigger blue region here. So they are not ambient by Lipschitz equivalent. even in R3, you have this result false in general. So the isolated singularity case is the best classification possible here, okay? But when you try to study these examples, recently, Birbaei, Denkovsky, Sampaio, and myself proved that if you can take R0 and S3, then there exists an LNS semi-algebraic surfaces with isolated singularities such that for any knot, this semi-algebraic set Tk is Aldebaran-Lipschitz equivalent to a standard-Holder triangle. Tk is ambient Lipschitz equivalent to Tk prime only if the knots K and K prime are isotopics, okay? And that's a very nice and surprising theorem because we thought that something similar to the R3 case would appear in R4, for the LNES surface, because in R3 the knots are of the magical nature. So one of the main problems, as this counterexample here, is mainly the orientation. So we thought, well, in R4, since the orientation does make sense for curves, orientation of the regions, I'm telling you about this. But since this orientation, you can just adjust it, then we are expect to this counterexample to be true, okay? But you have a new phenomenon called the micronauts. It's a very recent structure. Birbaei talked about this in his talk in Cuervenaka. Okay, and these micronauts are a Lipschitz obstruction, a very small Lipschitz obstruction that complicates a lot the analysis of LNS semi-algebraic sets in R4. Okay, and well, I'm talking about my next point here, that further research. Okay, and for further research, okay, we have a lot of questions. Okay, so if anyone here here in the talk is here and want to help us, it will be a pleasure to accept this help, because this geometry is a very interesting and mysterious one, so you're going to need all help that we need. And the non-isolated singularity case in LNN of R3 fails to determine a unique ambient Lipschitz equivalent class. However, is it still possible to determine all ambient Lipschitz equivalent classes? And another question in R3 is about non-LNS sets, because in these sets, unfortunately, we cannot convert it in several linear triangles. So the canonical structure is much richer, but still one may wonder, what are the canonical structures? And are they finite or infinite? Né? And we conjecture the ambient Lipschitz classes are finite in both cases. Okay. In LNE case, me and Birbaei, we have many sketches of proofs, but we not want to present it today because we are not too much secret yet about the validity. We are look at the details yet, so it's still a conjecture. And for the non-linear case, it's a very wide conjecture. I'm trying to solve this problem, but I personally, I think I had some progress applying moderate discontinuous homology, but I guess much work must be done yet. Okay, but in R4, okay, even in the isolated singularity LNA case, né, by the previous result that Birbaei, Denkovsky, Sampaio, and myself proved, the ambient Lipschitz geometry classes is infinite, because for every knot you can construct an ambient Lipschitz structure. But one question arises, né, is this class moduli? How can we combine these guys to make a complete classification theorem for R4? So this question is still open, okay? And how can you use the rigidity of some surfaces, that means complex analysis surfaces with isolated singularity, that's some subject that I'm studying in this moment, determinantal varieties that I hope to study soon, zeros of semi-holomorphic and mixed polynomials, and so on. How can use the rigidity of some surfaces to reveal a good constructive technique on higher dimensions, okay? We need more tools to analyze, to make an analysis on these guys here. But for now, it's a pleasure if you can help me. I will be very grateful. But for now, I would like to thank everyone to watch my talk. And, well, thank you for the opportunity to show my research progress. And thank you for the opportunity to talk on the Brazilian Singularity Theory webinar. Thank you.